welcome to the Open Goal FC podcast. Today we have the chairman of Jones, Whyte. How are you, sir?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good. So what are you going to tell us today, my man?
Well, I just wanted to speak to you boys, and I don't want to lower the tone of this, but March is going to be Free Wills Month at Jones Whyte, so...
What is a will for just some people that don't know?
A will's a document that you put in place to basically look after your assets and your family at the time of your death. It's one of these things people don't like to speak about. Kevin and I were speaking about it earlier, and people tend to put it off. But it's something you should have. Provided you've got a family or assets, you should really have a will. If you're broke, you've got nothing, probably not.
Right. But you'll not need one, Slaney.
No. But what? Do you need one?
I do. I'm in the process of sorting one out with Greg here because...
So you are Greg Whyte for Jones Whyte?
Indeed, yeah. Last time I checked, aye.
Is that where the Whyte comes from, aye?
Yes, that's right, Paul.
That's impressive, mate, isn't it?
Thanks, mate.
I like how you ask for people who don't know what a will is when it's you who didn't know what a will is.
I didn't have a clue, eh? Are you looking to get into the will business?
Well, I was there before now, but you made me think about it, Greg.
I think it's important, Paul, because obviously in wills will tell you that if you don't have one in place, it can become a complicated issue when a member of the family...
You got to take the marbles at your mouth before you say that. Do you get a will for that, no?
Well, actually, we do powers of attorney, and that's to look after people when they lose capacity. Not saying that's the case here. Brilliant. It's more one of these things, probably for guys like us, for your mum and dad, and it's not really for yourself. It's for your family. Should you lose capacity, and to sort of avoid hassle or extra cost for them at a point of your death, which I appreciate is kind of grim to think about, but
not at all. You have to think about
it at some point.
100%. And just talking about death there, if you were told tomorrow you were coming to an end, what would your last meal be? Starter, main and dessert?
Yeah, I've heard you boys do this before, and there's some pretty grim ones.
Oh, I like that.
Aye. So, no, fairly standard spaghetti bolognese or something like that, although it has to be your mum's or your granny's or something. But
would it, mate? Aye.
For
you happy with that?
No, I think that's good, That's a Tuesday night.
I know. Starter, something fairly simple, bruschetta or something like that.
I like that. And what dessert?
Bruschetta, man.
Probably a strong whiskey for dessert. You want to
get out. It's been outstanding, isn't it?
Yes,
Greg Whyte, the owner of Jones Whyte. Greg Whyte.
Thanks,
outstanding, mate. What a legend. Unbelievable, Kev. Robbie, a double sub there for Greg. How do you think he performed there?
Aye.
Good. You're about to say pure in the real life time, guys. No, but we've got the main man, Matty and Aiden, the two main men actually. Lads, how are you? All right?
Good, how are you?
A very good, mate. I'm going to ask you how you got off work today. What excuse did you use?
I just said I was coming on the podcast to be fair.
Is it alright with that, mate? Aye.
It's my stepdad work for it.
Oh, is it?
Aye.
An honest man, this
He said I need to give him a shout out, but so I could get there.
There you go, you done it already.
I can say for us, so that's all you got.
So who works for?
Aye.
Matty, what about you, son? How did you
I
get
just
off?
did the coaching game, so I just kind of picked what it is.
Oh, did you?
Coaching wins, I don't, so.
You were playing a wee bit hard to get last night. You didn't want to come on, did you know?
No. He begged me to come
Aye,
on.
it was very
You have said recently, man, you're a bit nervous.
I've already been on it, so.
Robbie, what about you, mate? How did you get off your work today?
Might be in, mate, so you stitched me right up.
Have you?
No, I'm only joking. I'm flexi, so going in and out what I want, mate.
What about, I was going to ask you that, what's the worst excuse you've ever used to get out of something? Or
You've definitely got the best one anyway. You'd have done this.
I've used COVID, I'm not joking, 20 times in the last year. COVID was brilliant for me. I'm the only person that loved COVID, so I could use it all the time. What else did I do? I once said, and I'm lying here, I once said at Motherwell, we Gordon Young, you know Youngie?
Aye.
He's my coach. I phoned him, said my dad broke his leg. So he couldn't drive me to training, so I went to training. But see, the next 3 months, my dad and I went along with a lie. He went along with a lie. So me and my mum had to keep getting to train. I swear to God, never did a lie. Kev, any excuses? That was a good story, eh?
Bro, you know one?
Right, Kevin, come on.
I'm getting on.
You must have had a few excuses,
I've had a few lies, but I couldn't possibly air them today.
Kev's one of the guys who just says it as
anyway. It would get me into trouble. It would get me into trouble if I said a couple of things I'd done.
You used to must have said
I'm trying to think.
I used a few this season, used to, by the way.
No, we should talk about the game. Can you talk about the game, Saturday?
What, we're going to go that?
What Matty thought about the game?
I get told not to go on Thursday, so. And then Cookie and Gibber
were on the bus.
They were there.
Experienced pros there.
But boys texting you on the bus,
aye, following me up, mate, just saying like.
Somebody says you're driving
you should drive up that.
Were you injured or suspended?
Injured, but the gaffer took me not to go on Thursday.
And you thought the boys were winding you up to the jail?
But Gibber and Cookie are injured or not, and they went. So I was the only one
there. That's good for them going. I never went either.
But they didn't go to Dalbeattie. They didn't go to Dalbeattie.
We were texting them saying the gaffer's raging that. He was going, do you think I should drive up?
I thought he was actually raging though.
You're a huge fan of they two, aren't you?
Aye, mate, actually, generally my two favourite players.
You've said that for day one.
Two
mate,
brothers,
aye.
mate.
And what is that you've seen in them? Robbie, don't mind me asking.
Two very good football players, mate.
What else have you seen in them? Don't mind me asking.
No, generally I think two of them have been great though. I think probably, as I've said to you a lot previously, I think at this level, very rarely will young players like you do. I think a lot of them want to come and make an impression. Obviously, Aiden here last year for however long it was, 6 months or so, was kind of in the periphery of the team for what I know. Seen him a few times in the 20s, always thought he looked a good player, but probably surpassed maybe his own expectations, certainly probably mine as well, and a few others. And I didn't know much about Matty. I spoke to a couple of boys at AIDEN, said he was really good though. And I actually remember for the first couple of pre-season sessions that Siren Holiday, I says, listen, that boy's really, really good. And I think he'd kind of obviously had that impression of him as well. So two of them been great.
Excellent. And Kev, what about you for the commentary box watching the boys? How do you think they've
Obviously, Aiden's been on before. We've talked about him, but Matty, I think what's good about Matty is his versatility. I think Si, no matter where Si puts him in the park, whether it's the middle midfield or sometimes minute left back or whatever it may be, he always puts in a solid enough performance. But the thing is, the two of them are young, and he's probably have aspirations to maybe get back into league football, I would imagine. But if he's keep performing and under Simon's guidance, I don't see how that wouldn't be a problem down the line, because you definitely have ability. I've watched some league games and think that these are more than capable of matching some of the guys that are playing league football. So I think it's been I think Broomhill open goal thing has been good probably for the likes of you two guys.
100%.
It puts you out there, because a lot of teams that play at our level go unheard of, unnoticed, nobody really comes, whereas there's people taking an interest. So there's guys coming, I see it every week up in the commentary box, there's people from all over different clubs and that come to watch, and listen, you can only put on good performances and you never know where it'll take you, but no, been good assets to Si's team, definitely.
Two right good looking boys, I know that.
It's all that, mate.
They do look young, but didn't they?
I'm at a goal spot and I have to
standard to the team. Standards
Choco brothers, innit?
He's milky.
Well, the same jumpers, soon I'm like the same job he's on.
He got me my jumper. He asked me what I'm wearing. He asked me what I'm
You know
wearing.
what I use today, bro?
225 minutes
Where'd
late.
you get that one?
Oh, boys, how have you enjoyed it seriously for the start of the season coming in? Let's just touch on before that. When Saya came to you, Matty, what's your first thoughts?
So I was in Ibiza when he texted me. So I was
serious in it?
I wasn't really thinking, but Samsung texted me before saying like come, because he'd already signed. So I was like interested, and obviously didn't have a team, and then Sai texts and I said I'll meet you, like, I'm happy to meet you.
Had you ever played in the Lowland League before?
No.
Is it different to what you expected it to be?
It's still a good standard,
It's a good standard,
aye, very good. You maybe think it's going to be easy, but it's no. As you can see, like, well,
No,
nights,
100%,
it's hard teams.
Matty, where did you come from before you signed with Broomhill? Where were you at?
As at Airdrie.
Right, so at Airdrie. When Si obviously phoned you and then had a meeting, what is it that sold you that move to? Because I would pretty imagine if you're leaving Airdrie as a young kid, you don't just have Broomhill, you'll have other, like, maybe Lowland League or junior football or maybe some third division teams interested. What was it that you thought could help you by coming to Broomhill?
Just the way he was talking. So we met for a coffee and he was saying about the style of play and how it would suit me to a T, the way we wanted to play. And on Broad is a real good big pitch, and just kind of sold it to me. After the meeting, I was kind of set. I said to my dad, I really want to sign here.
That's good. I like that, because sometimes you'll know, because you're a manager, selling a kid a false dream. The dream isn't here to take you from where you are to the Premiership or anything like that. The dream is, can we get you back in? Can Simon get you back into league football? And I think what's happened so far with the season, with the team, how they progressed and how they performed, how you have performed, that's a possibility. So it's been a win-win for both.
I've loved it. It's been brilliant.
Aidan, how have you been since the last time you were on, mate?
Not kicked the ball, have I? Getting on. No, I was obviously injured there, but for a couple of months, so I was out, and then I've been back the last few games. But then before that, I was suspended for 2 games, I know. Right. So I think I've played about 5 games since.
Do you think, even with basically younger players, do you think the goal is when you're in part time? The goal is always to sort of go back full time.
I sometimes think that some part-time boys feel that their opportunity's missed and that they just accept it. I'm going to go from this club to that club and just have a journeyman season in the lower leagues of football. Sometimes they have the idea in their head they want to go more, but it's how do they get there, and they get lost a wee bit.
Yeah.
Whereas I think with Simon and the Broomhill project, whatever you want to call it, it's putting people, it's getting more noise and it's getting more attention, and I think that's helping the boys that have come. And I think that's what's helping, but you might be able to answer that better, Rob, because you're in that.
Aye, it's difficult because you can always give yourself a sort of 10-year plan or whatever, but you just need to kind of, the way I would look at it, from whatever point of view myself or talking to other boys, you can only do your best in your current situation, and then that will provide opportunities. Like Matty's probably know 2 years ago, were you at Motherwell? He's probably not at Motherwell thinking, in 2 years' time I'm going to be playing with Broomhill, because you just don't know what's going to happen. But one thing that is really important to see, especially for younger players, perfect example in Pat Moy, your environment's so important. So for me, like Pat was obviously out on loan for a wee while there. Pat probably, and this is no disrespect to him whatsoever, I think he's really good. And I watched him the 20s last year, and me and Si both says, like, I think he's worth keeping next year and seeing how he gets on. He was at a West of Scotland team, Division 1 or whatever. Probably, if anybody was going to watch those games, say they watched 6 games apart, they're probably not going to look and think, he's outstanding, I'm going to sign him for whatever team. But this environment that he's in with Broomhill suits him. He's came back, played 3 games, apparently done really well. So it just shows you how important that is. You might have made the decision to sign with an League 2 team, but it might not have suited you for whatever reason, like logistically, how you play, whatever. Whereas you're here with a good environment.
That would have definitely helped him as well, but is he going on loan to St Knox? Defensively and whatever. I went on loan to Whitehill Welfare. That's in Easter Scotland League for and I played him in 6-7 games. 100%. But it didn't probably suit me because he went long, whatever. But it helped me with picking up second balls and that. So now I always think about that, when you win second balls and that, because at that level it's all you can do kind of.
It does definitely get you ready though, rather than playing youth football or that.
It's important to winning as well.
It means something.
It's the accountability that not just yourself but your teammates, your manager. You're saying Pat was at St Rock's to get a decent crowd, stuff like that, so a bit of hostility. So it's all that comes into it. Whereas youth football, even with us, we'll listen, we don't really react too much to mistakes, things like that are going to happen. But your coach can tell you that all the time. But if you're a player playing for 3 points in an environment where people are constantly checking your scores every week, that comes out with a different pressure. So that'd been good.
So standing, Robin, I'm not going to touch on it to you in the 20s in a wee minute, but if I'm going to ask you now, who would you say is the hardest person at the full club?
Yeah.
No, but genuinely, all the both teams, right, and all the coaches or the cameramen, who would you say is the hardest bastard?
Cameraman.
Rob.
Him and Rob. No, they're not.
Cookie, I think. Just because he's so angry.
Dale's got a pass.
Dale.
Dale's got a few silvers.
I didn't think you spoke about.
Dale's got a few silvers, you know.
Right, so if it was a Royal Rumble with everybody, who would be first out?
Cookie.
Royal Rumble? Bars on it.
So, right, before we go, I need an answer here. First out and last out in the Royal Rumble, the whole club.
First out, near you. Last
I'm the ref.
Last in's brothers.
I'm going to ref.
First out, I'd go Davey the Kitman.
Nah.
That's how
He's the king of law, isn't he? We've covered all the hard men, and that's a bit, we don't want to be too much with that, but we want to see the ones that are getting first out.
I think
Brock's first out, isn't he?
He's not even getting in the ring. He's not even making it.
Evan as well.
Evan be like Rey Mysterio, wouldn't he?
To be fair, if Legion are doing, fucking the 2 Simple Brothers get involved.
And here comes a tag team.
Really dangerous.
Bushwhackers.
Really dangerous.
Yeah, fucking Dudley boys here and all that.
I wonder who would be first out. That's a good one. Jimmy Grant, he could be first out, wouldn't he? He'd be screaming, couldn't he?
Body on my Tory boy.
Anyway, I mean, for the Royal Rumble, we'll come back to that if he's come up with it, I think it, you know what I mean? Good host, eh?
Oh, you think he's
no, I know something last night. They told me I need to start asking me a sensible question. Right, Robbie boy, how's your under 20s been? I've not really spoke to you recently.
Aye, missed you, mate.
Thanks for brought you on today.
No, mate, it's been going well, going really well. I think we're in our last 12 competitive games, we've won 11, drew 1.
You start with the league?
Really good. No, still not that league
Goals
as well.
for must be quite high.
Sorry?
Goals for must be quite high.
Aye, so
See, to be fair, they're high, but that's probably been the criticism.
Should have been higher.
It should have been a lot higher, so I don't know what it is exactly, but in terms of form being really good, because I think our first 3 games in the league, we'd won 1, and the first 6 games I think we'd won 3, so it just shows a kind of progression for them. But even then, I think you'd been a couple of games with drop points, and that you'd been at one of them as well. We were still playing well, so that's where there was no need to kind of panic or anything like that, because you've seen there was a sort of foundation there to build on. So recently it's clicked really well, and boys are doing great.
Even when we've seen when they come up with the first team as well, don't look at our players.
Been impressed with them, aye?
Aye.
I like the right winger.
We lose.
Is that what his name was?
We lose, and then we Jack Walsh have been excellent. He's come up.
He was good against Calabres, I think.
We were actually talking, Robbie, because see everyone that's actually came on in the game, brought up the training, but the ones that came in, they've all made an impact, which must be really pleasing as a manager yourself.
Mate, it isn't. See actually touched on the...
Just give me a look at that.
See, touching on the Jack with Calabres, I thought Jack done well, but like Si, I think yourself, a few reporters were like, wee Jack was brilliant. And I was like, I thought he'd done well. I thought he could have done better. But I think, like, I would think that with all of them. Like, and one thing that I think Si said before, which I totally agree on, like, whoever comes in, they need to be better than what's there. It's not as if, like, so that's why I don't look at them thinking, I just want them to come in and know about a place, because they're above that anyway. I know they're better than that. So anytime they've come in, they've not let themselves down. So
I'm going to ask you all this actually about the great wee bit there, sorry for just cutting that off at the end. With the documentary, you made a wee appearance on it, didn't you?
I did, what's that all about? That's what we laughed.
Did you enjoy it, mate?
Sorry, aye. Sorry.
Have you been getting a bit of stick with your mates, or have you found a wee bit of fame?
Not as much as the last stick I got for my story on here before.
What band is that?
Oh, Spears' story.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, aye.
I don't know that one, right?
Britney.
Sorry, mate.
Britney had a...
That's done.
Britney, fucking, I mean, what to stop.
Sorry, was a question. Did I get any stick? No.
Have you
think I deserve stick or something?
No, just actually on that question. It's just right here.
The right one's a good or not.
Have you been recognised in the street? Yeah, any?
No, listen, okay, see, it's one of them, it's good for the boys and that, really. Because I think it kind of, we're trying to create a kind of one club feel about the place. So obviously there's a decent sort of connection between 20 to 15, probably better, well, I'm surmising here, but arguably better than maybe other clubs at this level. We think keep it pretty tight. So it was good for them to get involved in that. Obviously Josh got a wee cameo with his sport as well. So I think the boys liked it, aye.
Lads, how have you found it being on the documentary and there's podcasts and stuff? I mean, as much as it can be good, but can it also be a hindrance that there is a lot of eyes on you, or a lot of people talk about you and all that?
I don't think so, no. Can't really see the cameras and that soon.
No, you actually don't realise it there, didn't you?
See, because they're there every week as well, you don't notice. I actually noticed it at the weekend, they weren't there. I don't know if you did the day after at the weekend.
No, I know they weren't. They didn't come in to change.
You know what's in there now when they're
I didn't know anything up the corners.
Aye. Have you found it, but have you been out in the street in it and then anybody's went, oh, there's the boys there for the documentary? No.
No, yeah.
He's getting a Saturday night and said, you know who I'm at?
I play for Open Goal.
Nah. But do you think that I'll ask you that, Robbie, do you think that can be hard though for even for us as well, because it's two different things? Do you think it can be hard when there is a lot of a podcasting thing, because that doesn't happen anywhere else?
It's definitely a different kind of pressure, but I think just that's where it's so important to be close to everybody within it, because everybody's kind of experiencing the same thing. So to have that kind of tight-knit support network, then it's good to have that. But it definitely is, it must be, because I was even telling you that, I think the last time I was on here, I was saying that one of the games I was at, obviously still playing, I was getting slaughtered, man. Saying your podcast is shite.
That's the thing.
I'm not ever on anyway.
So Mavi podcast.
I got to start with the night he's played.
It's no personal.
The night he's played Commonwealth Colts in the 20s, and to be fair, that's probably one of the best games I've seen in like that level of football in a long time. 3-2, 2-2.
3 each.
3 each. It was, they scored last minute, didn't they?
Aye.
Well, heart sickening. Absolutely sickening.
Didn't they?
2-0 down, 2-1, then 3-2 up.
Yep.
And then 3-3, boys were excellent that night, and there was a good crowd there. There must have been maybe 100, 200 people. I was sitting thinking, this is what Open Goal and Broomhill has brought to the table. People are looking at the 20s and the first team as a scalp. It's like, your podcast is shite, everyone's shite. We're just 4 numpties. We're 3 at the beginning, and Andy joined, talking about Scottish football. We didn't take ourselves too seriously, but because of the team thing now, everybody's thinking, we need to beat. But I think on the road and some of the teams that played this season now, there's a lot of respect there from the actual clubs. Yeah. And I think that's been good. Obviously the fan side of things is always the same, but it's been good. I've really enjoyed it. I thought that night he's were excellent against Commonwealth Colts. I really was raging.
Just a wee bit too much. You cutting that answer down a wee bit.
But that's what, see what Kev said, he's spot on. Like, there's obviously the sort of publicity that way, but there's definitely respect and all. Because you need to be aware of that. Like, see, when you talk about it, it's no just that everybody thinks like that's a shit show, that's it. Because it's no. See, if you talk to a lot of people, they think it's really good and they're excited about it, and I think they appreciate the fact that it's bringing eyes to the league. See, if teams really want to beat you, it's because they respect that you're a good team. Of course. And I've said that to her, because this isn't being arrogant in that, because we're not even talking our own league. So, but see, when we have played teams, I've said that to boys, like, there is a wee bit of target on your back. You can see that by the way teams react if they score or whatever. I was like, but that's nothing to do with, like, when I see our boys, I was like, this isn't disrespect to him. Obviously, I said, that's not to do with Cy Ferry, that's not to do with Paul Slane. I was like, that's because you're a good team, and teams are talking about you, and teams want to beat you. I said, so it's no, don't take it the wrong way, it's respect.
That's exactly it.
Did you watch the documentary back?
Aye.
Do you think it's hard watching yourself?
It's good.
That
Good
on
yourself.
the Bucky, that Bucky tip.
I love
me
getting cut out there,
singing
but-
at the end.
Oh, I've seen that. That's a hard one.
How did you avoid it? How much did you pay him?
That was
What happened that was again?
You took me off me about a million times. Stop busting it, you're trying to do everybody.
You just lose it?
No.
No.
Leave that, you cut it.
I'm sure there's...
Didn't he make cut it?
He's had a lot cut out over the years. He's had a lot cut out. He said.
Didn't need to get cut even to see it anyway. First team coach and all that. That's respectful. But I'm going to
respect I was talking about.
do you enjoy watching the documentary? Do you think boys fuck me? I'm getting
It's one in here.
It's one here.
Fuck your hair, sorry.
Is it a place? Oh fuck's sake. Is there
Just get
no, sorry, I will later. I will later. There's boys act different when the cameras are on, so see you watch the documentary back and go, fuck.
Brock, yeah.
Think so?
Aye.
He doesn't speak, but you know when the cameras are away. doesn't he?
He think not. He is kind of the same, right? But he just takes it too far. Like, he just takes, like, he doesn't say fairly that much. See, like that, on that documentary. He's getting slaughtered for it, no, but I think he likes it. He just craves that attention, doesn't he?
I wonder if anybody else.
Basil, get a bit.
He was like
He was talking like a snob, wasn't he?
Aye.
I was like, what are you doing?
Who else was in it? Guys, he had Johnny Jaws and Toast, didn't he?
That was good.
That was genius.
That was good.
He's all over John
John's
Johnson.
happy.
All over
Funny
him.
because that is just guys in it.
They only happy, but I don't think what they
Are they not?
No, I think so.
No, I'm typing in, he'll be fine. I'll speak to him. Have you been recognised in the street at all? No. Right, Matty boy, we're going to go back to the start of the season. Airdrie last season. Did you play a lot, mate?
I played at the start, so then that Premier Sports Cup.
Right.
So I played a lot of games.
Who was that? Was that the top teams as well?
He managed to talk to you about that. His debut for Airdrie. He was saying to me.
Did you, mate?
That's just against Motherwell.
Oh, so you've left. Motherwell went to Airdrie and then played them as a debut?
Aye, and it was like my second game. And it was class because we won. It was so good.
Well, you gave them a bit?
Not me, no.
So did Motherwell, who was the Motherwell manager?
Graham Alexander.
Were you training with the first team?
Aye, when he was there, aye.
And did he let you go?
Aye. Aye.
He's playing this down. Here, come on, expand.
Well, did get told me, and this is the reason I'm asking, I get told, I think it might have been you on the bus that night, you were drunk on that bus, you were telling me about how good you were that season with Motherwell training. No, it was Simpson that was telling me you were flying in training, and they were actually talking about, listen, no, I hate that, the next big thing, but they were saying this is the next few years you're going to be at Motherwell playing a lot of appearances. So how did that sort of...
He told me I was doing well, and then he told me, like, he spoke me that, he said, they're thinking about putting me on loan, so like extend the contract and put me on loan. And it got to the end of the season and just said, nah, I think you should just make your own way in football. And that was just like, that was a big blow, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, what now? Because I thought I was going to stay, and then just all of a sudden you need to try and find a new club, and it was just like...
Wasn't there any explanation, or...?
No,
so was it kind of like really, really like last minute stuff?
Aye, they left it till January, the last day of the contract.
So looking back now, do you actually think that maybe there's just a bad communication and... from like a sporting director's point of view, or from a manager's point of view?
Usually don't. That's very strange.
Aye, because usually you kind of, if you're signing a new deal, you're in negotiations with it, but if you're to leave it last minute, it's as if to say, oh shit, we forgot.
Aye.
That's what it seems like.
It was a day like me and Semps and then a couple of other boys, just like in the last day. You were just waiting like to find out if you're getting a new deal or not. But
wow,
it was
that's
weird,
not good on Motherwell,
how long were you between Motherwell and Airdrie?
But like, so when did I leave and then join?
When did you join?
So I went on trial with Airdrie for like a month, done our pre-season, done well, and then...
And they're like a hybrid mod?
Aye, that was weird, that was quite hard to get used to. So there was like 8 years full-time, and then like...
You're struggling, mate, so...
Another 10 part-time, so full-time would train Monday during the day, just like a wee group. It was actually really good, done like boxes, possession, wee fun things at the end, it was good.
Aye.
And then...
You take that training?
I was on that. I left it to the boxes.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
And then Tuesday would be after the gala at night. So like the main proper session was like Tuesday, Thursday, because that was a full team the gala.
Right.
You do like your shape and your partners are playing all that. Then Friday again was just the full time ones.
That's mental.
But we trained every Sunday.
Oh, is that right?
Every
Who was
Sunday.
the manager then?
Ian Murray.
Ned.
Aye.
He's a Rafe Rovers now,
Aye, Rafe Rovers, aye.
How did you find him?
Aye, I actually did like him. I thought he was really good.
good.
I thought he was really good.
Was Scott Roberts there when you were there?
Who?
Boy, Clyde now? Scott Roberts now?
Nah,
I
don't
You want that?
Who was it, Bixie, just to go back, who was it sort of the best players at Motherwell with that first team?
Who Alan Campbell was brilliant.
Was he?
Really good, yeah.
Did you know he was, did you have an idea then, looking at him, he was going to go and do what he's done?
Aye. See, if you had him in your team in training, you'd win every game. He was a machine.
Is he technically good or just a bit?
Aye, technically really good, but his work rate was mad. He was so good.
Cal Naismith said that he's the hardest working player.
Aye, ever seen.
Says he's built like a home gym and stuff. Does everything at home,
He was up the gym every day, didn't he go out ever, like...
Who was the characters in that Motherwell team?
Tony Watt was quite funny, aye. He was good to me because he took me to training every day because I couldn't drive. So he stayed in Mount Vernon and I stayed at Garrett Hill. So he took me to training every day, so it was like good. Big Dickie Gallagher was funny.
So ever seen it like that?
Never in my life.
I've said this before.
Never in my life.
I've said this before, right? And I'll say it
scary,
again.
wasn't
It would take 10 of mine to make up his mind. And that's not
Can we touch the bottom of that Starbucks cup?
It's outstanding.
After son, you said, wasn't it?
That was a decent team, that, mate.
Aye, they were very good. They were very good that year.
And I remember asking you about this. See, when you do, and I don't want to keep going on about it, Matty, right? But see, when you do get let go at that age, is there a part in that? I asked you the same question and you answered it brilliant, so I hope you would do the same. See, at that point, though, do you kind of think, maybe I'm not going to play football? So all your dreams as a kid coming up and you get let go, that must be an age where so many players maybe fall away for the game.
I think it's harder in Scottish football because in England, when you get released, say, for like a playing club, you might drop down to a championship team and you're still at a good standard, whereas I've noticed in the last lot of years living back in Scotland that when you get released from a Premier League club in Scotland, you could end up as far down as maybe like a lower league team.
Yeah.
Because the finance isn't there just for people to say, oh, because you've been at Motherwell, we'll just take you in. Whereas in England, there's a bit of respect there where, oh, you've had 4 or 5 good years at Everton, we'll take you to Birmingham. That's how it kind of works down there, whereas up here in Scotland, it's like the finance has to be right in terms of we can't really afford you, our budget don't really have you, and you need to be bang on ready for it. Whereas these young kids drop away down and then they need to try and work their way back. So I always feel like if you're getting released by a Motherwell or a St Mirren or a Livy or something like that, it must be really, really worrying. Like your dreams, and like you said, your dreams and your hopes could quickly be lost because of just the way Scottish football is.
Is that what you were thinking?
I probably thought I actually got made a shock. So see, when I went to Airdrie and I signed, I thought like I was going to play every game and do brilliant because I thought like League One wouldn't have been as hard. But then get even many a shock and I wasn't playing because the boys in my position were brilliant. See the centre mid, it was Dylan Easton, Adam Frizzle and Rhys McCabe. So it was like 3 older boys who were brilliant. 3 of them were unbelievable.
And that's hard as well.
And that Airdrie team was really good.
Because then when you go there, people are like, oh, can I must not be, there's no that.
So I got a shot, like I thought I was going to play every game and do well, and then you don't even get a chance to even really play because the 3 guys were top guys at the club. Like,
so is that what happened? Did you play Airdrie? Did you start the start of the season?
I started the start of the season, done well, and then just playing, I think Adam Frizzle was injured, and then he came back and kind of just came like straight in. He put me, to be fair, we played the first home game against Montrose, and he put me right wing back and I was playing centre mid. I didn't have a great game, but like, then after that, kind of just get like Frizz came back in, and then him and Dylan in the middle were a joke, and I just. Would you say to a manager up there and be like, listen, why am I not playing or I want more game time? It's hard when you're younger. I wouldn't really. No, would you never do that? Nah, but I probably should have maybe. Some managers are different though, aren't they? Some managers might not appreciate that, when other managers like Si would like somebody in the Champions League and say.
See, I don't know. I think like I respect what Matty saying there, but saying the boys are doing great. So I think it's how you phrase it. I think there's one thing going in and saying why am I not playing, and there's another thing going in and saying is there anything I can do better? Because see, if you're saying the boy, like, I think you're being very honest by. See, if you're not playing 90% of the time, you know yourself why you're not playing. The guy in front of you's better, the guy in front of you's good form, the team are winning or whatever. So in those circumstances, I don't think you should be going in and saying why am I not playing, because it's obvious the boys in front of you are doing great. But if you go in and say, listen, is there anything I can do better, is there anything I can do to bridge that gap, then I think that's fine. But but see, like when people say, like, I just go in and ask, but for me that's almost disrespectful to the boys, isn't it?
100%. Aidan, were you the same? Were you a bit same? You left Hibs, was it a bit of a shock for you as well?
Well, I was different, but I wasn't full time at Hibs, so it was a bit of a difference. You know what I mean? So I was still I just then got an R18 team and I wasn't full time again, so it wasn't the same scenario as Matty as well. He's full time, that's his job. Do you know what I mean? And then you get released and you go part time. Maybe I suppose Airdrie was full time, but when you go from being full time to then part time, you then think about getting a job and all that. Do you know what I mean? So it's different in that sense. And I think there's a lack of full-time teams in Scotland, do you know what I mean? There is only about, there's not even any more than 20 of them, whereas in England and all that, there's
Even the conference, some conference teams, isn't there?
Listen, I've said it before. I know a boy that's a youth director for a team that's in the second division below the conference. 30 grand a year.
That's mad in England, isn't it?
2 nights a week and a game on a Saturday.
And there was one of the boys when I was at Motherwell, and he was at non-league, and he said it was like pure easy for him. Then he came to Motherwell, and like that non-league team were offering him more money than Motherwell.
Right.
I was like, how is that even possible? Premiership Scotland.
That's how you're obviously seeing a lot of examples of some players you'll look at and you think, how's he playing with that team that are part-time when he could still be playing championship or whatever, but if you've got a good full-time job and such a circumstance, you can see why
I think that's the difficulty in Scottish football. The guys like these boys here that come down, then they go to part-time and then bang, right, I need to get a job because the part-time wage isn't covering what I need to cover. And then they get a job and then it's like he could be in a predicament, either of these two could be in a predicament where if they have another good season, and somebody does say at the end of next season, we'd like you to come in and play with us full time, but we're going to give you 350 quid a week. When you start adding up your part-time wage at Broomhill and then your wage you get working, why would you go to it?
Nah.
You can't do it. And they're stuck in these predicaments of, I want to be full-time football, but I can't afford to be.
It's the same with coaches, managers. Like, see, I look at, there's a couple of people obviously lost their job recently. And I've been thinking, what did he do? See, not just the manager,
job,
but not just the man. See, like the assistant. So, like Aberdeen or recently at Motherwell. But what does their assistant do for a job? So it's really hard even to do it sort of managerial and coaching in Scotland. But I suppose but because I mind that I was listening to with Jack Ross. He was on one of my licences, and basically he had a really good job, just done a degree in, was it law maybe?
Business or something, was it?
Aye, the same course with me.
And then he was
You and Guy Fagan,
and he was at Dumbarton at the time. But then I think he got the opportunity to go to like Hearts 18s full time. And he was like, obviously at that stage, it's a massive decision. I think his missus or whatever was like, you can't be doing that. But obviously it ended up working out well for him, but it's a massive risk. So boys, don't go full time if you get a chance.
It gets different when you're younger though, innit? Like us. Whereas if you're like 25, 26 or whatever, and you get the chance to go full time.
You are still probably staying at home with your mum and dad, but the pressure of life isn't quite as much. But when you're maybe like Jack Ross, married with kids, and maybe need to earn a certain amount of money each year to be, it becomes difficult. But finance is everything in football, and it's tough up in Scotland.
Matt, I want to go back to that game you played against Motherwell. We had was all the family there?
Aye, all of them.
But no raging the result, but raging what they done to you.
Aye. They were happy for me, the result. I played well and I played shit mid and it was good.
Was it Graham Alexander that was still the manager?
Aye.
Did they say it to you?
Nah.
I didn't.
Just like shook my horn at the end of the game, but didn't he?
What would you have done?
Exactly same. I mean, shoot the horn, I've put my head in, man. Sorry.
See on that as from and I'm going to say it, see from a club point of view, Motherwell as a club doing that to young kids at that point in their career, it's not giving them much room for manoeuvre to go and find another club.
I think no. See in Scotland, this isn't that isn't right. But I think in Scotland, when we talk about money, that budget might get slashed, and you're like, you maybe said something like, we want to keep a few of the players, young ones that we can keep, we've got that budget there, but then it might get slashed and you've not got the same where you maybe finish in the league, might change, and then your whole thing has to then change. I do think then that should be more explained though, shouldn't it?
Motherwell finished in the European Premiers that season, didn't they?
I don't know if it was that one, but I don't know.
Great knowledge by the way.
Aye, they did, so I'm thinking they would have had, but I hate that happening, because I think, like, imagine your contract runs out May 30th, season's finished, and somebody tells you on the 29th of May that, we're not keeping you, by the way. And then everyone shuts down. And then you're sitting there for a period of 4 to 6 weeks before the season gets started again, trying to find yourself a club. Whereas if they told you a month or two before, he could have went out and trained with these clubs and maybe had come in for a couple of days here, maybe had a look at him with the thought of, right, we're signing you as soon as your contract ends. And then he's a wee bit more relaxed.
Basically, it wouldn't really happen at any other line of work with it.
No, of course it wouldn't.
So that seems to be football. That football, that is a lot of examples in it. I was going to ask a cracker and it's completely slipped my mind.
Sorry, mate.
Completely slipped my mind.
I'm sorry. What about Saturday? No, what to talk about?
You asking, I'll pick up.
Obviously, I never watched the game, but how was it? Obviously, it's disappointing out, but were they decent?
They were alright, mate. They were alright, but again, after the game, I watched the game yesterday and all. I thought they were really good, and I don't want we never want to sound as if we're happy getting beat. Of course, you know that's you want to win every game, you want to win everything, but the performance was even watching it again, it was actually, we were even better than what I thought. We were excellent playing
A few times that season in it, we've played really good and just not get the result
as well.
100%. Nobody ever wants to get beaten. You never ever, nobody coming in the district and go, boys, we're buzzing to get beat. But there's a way, as you say, there's a way to getting beaten, and watching it, brothers into playing through the lines, Aidan Hughes well going in there, and it was really good performance, of course. But I think these things, of course, are going to take time.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Everything's been new. It was maybe a month window at the start before the season started to get everybody in. Coaches, the way the club is, it's a brand new club as well for our side. So it is going to take time, but the performance, I think, was much better than obviously the week before.
That's the sort of advantage you see of being able to watch a game back, because you can take the emotions with it. Because obviously at the game, maybe you're getting beat 1-0 at a time or whatever, and you'll be, angry, frustrated, so you can start to be rash in your decisions. But when you watch it back, then maybe appreciate that it could have, one of those could have went either way. And games of football, it's fine margins all the way through in it, and I think that momentum's massive, and obviously you've not quite got it at the minute. So
how did you find? I know you won the playing Saturday.
That was the same on the pitch. I thought we were playing well, especially the first half an hour. They couldn't get the ball off us, and then you heard them, they were shouting and balling at each other, and that's when you know, do you know what I mean?
That's when you're happy,
the other team are shouting and balling at each other, and then it was a slack goal we conceded, because that's what we were saying obviously after the game as well, like we need to work hard to score goals, whereas we've conceded too many cheap goals which you can't do, do you know what I mean? But like you said, the performance was good. We probably didn't have too many chances, but we were good. We played good football and whatever. Obviously, you don't get in for that, but we did play well up to a point probably, and then we weren't maybe as good in the final third.
Well,
that's not just talking about
analysis.
How you taking it?
Attacking players only.
love it, mate.
What about you getting the boots on now? Because your performance in the bounce match last week.
Training, but I've heard you've been brilliant, huh?
I think he could be.
Well, covering 3 men for me.
You were good though. I don't think you think about it when you're playing like with a new team and whatever, but I think it will like. It does play a part.
He's learning. Si's learning. Everybody's learning. It's like, it's just if you can't learn from the things that you're doing wrong to make them right again, well, what's the point? If you think of where you were at the beginning of the season as a coach, were you a bit anxious? No, you're not new. God, a wee bit anxious about things and stuff, and now you're quite confident of going in and blowing your whistle a wee bit louder, pressing the stopwatch a bit quicker, shouting louder. Well done, brother. Come on.
There's layers to it, and all. I think you're talking obviously off camera. Guy, I can't remember his name. Spartans manager. He's been there for however many years. So probably if you spoke to guys like that, Dougie. I'm not too sure, but I don't know if you're kidding or not.
No, it is actually.
He's been there for a number of years. He would probably come to listen the difference between him to then to now, because you layer it up every year.
I think we've struggled against the B teams a lot. Like maybe next year, trying to work on that.
Because we played the 3 games, didn't we? Against Celtic, we got beat twice, then Rangers we got beaten, and the last time against Rangers we were much better. And see, obviously we're talking about Spartans, they're up at the top of the league. See, if you see compared to last year, it's basically the same team, bar maybe 3 or 4 in the bodies, do you know what I mean? So they've had that, and then the manager, so I suppose that maybe helps as well.
Did you play against some of the Celtic Rangers boys when you were at Motherwell and Hips?
Aye, growing up, we would have,
Well, they always...
I can see technically they're really good, but they're getting that full time every day, you know what I mean?
That's an advantage in it, mate.
Of course it is. Training every day, and
you shout sharp there, man. Some of them turning that Lovelace and that, driving with the ball.
Yeah, the boy Aaron Lyle, I thought
I've played against him loads of times, and I've always
using the sole of his feet, like dragging it about. It was amazing.
I know, they're good players. They are good players. It's that's why they're at the clubs they're at.
Actually, you need to be at it.
What's your highlights of the season? Listen, see this. I'm not asking this question, but I see the last 2 club podcasts I've done. I keep going to somebody. What's your summary of the season? As if the season's done. I'm sick of saying it, and it's not what I mean. I'm just meaning because they're on. Sorry about that.
Sorry, mate.
What is your highlights? But things that's made you happy? What made you happy?
What makes you smile? Just the Bucky game, definitely.
Aye, that was brilliant.
Just because
amazing.
See the night of form, that was brilliant and all.
Because you're away.
Cash said about 80 jokes in a row, just round them up.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
See, because the way that game started as well, like the first 10
we get battered, battered, man.
And then obviously their fans, it was a big crowd there, and then they were right on tappies, and then to then go and win, do you know what I mean? It was like
fans are all
because after the first 10-15 minutes you're thinking, well, Jesus Christ,
because they were good. They were good.
Aye, and obviously we turned it around, and then obviously the bus journey as well, and then you know you're in the next round of the Scottish Cup, you're buzzing for the draw and whatever. And I think the Alloa game as
Alloa game
well,
was
even though we
brilliant,
got beat, it was
Still
still...
sickens me, mate.
Aye.
As much as, it was amazing what Darvel done.
Aye.
But you just look at it and you think,
I think I felt
how
worse
well
after a
I know,
after a
because the
defeat
way it
like
was
that.
done.
Because we played so good against them, and you get a decision like that right at the end.
Did you get? I mean, that was toe for toe that game, wasn't it?
Aye.
Did you enjoy playing that?
I loved it, mate. For it was brilliant. It's a good crowd in that, and
crowd.
good build up to it Friday night. You know what I mean? It was really good.
See, for me and all, obviously I was at East Fife, but I never really played, do you know what I mean? So that was like the first time I had really played against like an actual league team, do you know what I mean? So
I was
it
a
was
wee bit surprised of how they're a couple of divisions higher.
Aye.
But how well we competed. Or,
Aye.
so didn't look a lot between the teams, didn't there? On the night.
Well, I don't think I was surprised because I still thought that we would definitely give them a game. But I just with myself, like, because it was because you're thinking, Alloa 2 leagues above, like, see what, like, how you are compared to them. Do you know what I mean? And obviously there wasn't a big difference at all. And I'm actually pals with a couple of boys that play well, and they were like saying like they thought we were the better team. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Aye.
And I think after the game they were just like relief, do you know what I mean? To actually beat us. Whereas I think if it went the extra time,
if it went extra
even on the
time,
boys in the
we'd
pitch were like,
all-
fucking hell, do you know what I mean? Like,
You're like a wee pundit, by the way.
Jink.
Aren't you?
I hear I've been on a sponsored silence to be fair, but I've lost off and all, so.
Any other highlights that could pop up to your mind?
Try to
Pop
think.
up to your mind, though. What did
The
that?
Brora game was brilliant, I know. That was really good.
outstanding, wasn't it?
Aye, that was good.
That was good.
That
That was the first Friday night game, innit? I know.
I think that was the biggest crowd we've had.
Rhoda.
I'm sure it was, Brora.
That was the first Friday game, aye.
Aye, it was.
That was really good. Aye.
1,500.
Aye, yeah.
Was it about 1,500?
Aye.
Do you ever see when, I know it's not a hell of a lot, but it is, when it's maybe a crowd, do you buzz off at me or do you kind of...
Aye, see, you on the picture, you think you can really,
don't know
you just
what to
kind of blank it out, aye.
See the Alloa game though, that was the first time I've actually been on a pitch and it was like a proper, see after we scored and they were on top, it was like an actual proper like
Aye.
buzz, do you know what I mean?
atmosphere and that.
Aye, they were like, the fans were actually quite loud, do you know what I mean? The Bonus game was a highlight, I know, I loved that game.
Aye, that
See,
was
just
good,
because
that was
again,
really good,
like, the fans were right on us, getting stick all game, and then we scored quite late on as well.
That was a good, that was because we had been, I'm sure before that, our wins had been like really good play and it was more that other side of the game.
Aye, we get
we
beat
didn't really
through
have that,
Scrap,
we hadn't showed,
aye.
we didn't have showed that up to that point, so that was a great thing. What is the aspirations for your careers? Is it full-time football again?
Aye, 100%.
And as quick as possible?
No, like in a pure rush now, but to go full time.
What are you doing, 20 and 20?
Aye, both 20, aye.
Aye. So like 20 years old, what are you doing at like...
It's got to be though, and it has got to be that age, Robbie, full-time football.
Aye, he's certainly, I don't see why no, definitely got the potential and the current ability. And as I said, you can set targets on where you want to be, but the only way you're going to get there is obviously by maximising what you've got to do. And
Aye.
I mean, listen, I think I don't know if you've maximised it, but you've definitely done really well.
It's good when you enjoy it as well.
Certainly
like-
two people that people spoke to me about that went to watch games or watch highlights or whatever, and they always mention it to them. So it's just credit to use, but aye, it's just about to obviously get going for it.
Aye, same probably. Aye, definitely full time. But I think there's no point in like thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Nah.
during the season and like
Just do what-
think, why get full time soon? Do you know what I mean? I think you just need to go and try and do well every week, and then if it happens, it happens. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's all you can do. I go and try and play well every week.
I missed a bit.
Just look at the sheets.
Characters at Airdrie, I've missed the sheet.
Characters at
Airdrie. Was Jim Lowe there?
Yes, Jam was there.
Is he different?
Nah.
Is that still
Exact
cracking people?
same. But every day and he would hit you with uppercuts and all that, aye.
Who else
On
was
the side.
That's good, Dan.
He'd say that before a game, like, he'd be like, Mashang, I should like, you better fucking play well with it. Right before a game,
He
you're
bear
like,
hugged me at the weekend. He was going,
me?
"You better be fucking good."
what else should I
He's
get
a
like that?
character to be fair.
Aye.
Any other characters at Airdrie?
Reece was funny. Yeah, he's a manager now, but
Could you
he was
see who's
funny.
going to be the manager then?
I wouldn't have expected it now, but
And this young?
he was good. Like on the pitch, he was always talking all the time.
Was he?
Was he a coach for you or
very
that?
good. No, it was Murray and Aggie. So Scott Agnew.
Yep.
They were the two
Right.
who took training.
I wonder how that.
I know.
must be quite
I
difficult to
was shocked
manage.
as well, but
Playing that view, I don't suppose you've ever
I
had
don't
that.
know that. It just seems strange with him because he was playing and then all of a sudden bang, he's the
he's still
manager.
playing now.
I've had player manager twice actually. Junior Kieran McInesby, you know him?
Aye.
He was my player manager at Clydebank, and I had it at another junior team as well. No for me.
Nah.
I think
Not something I would do. But
Si played a few games at the start.
to be fair, but we bit
what about Slimming the mic on, remember?
Aye.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Who was it going to somebody against the mic?
England, Glenross, wasn't it?
Going
that
off.
cup game,
I played against
That was the worst day
That was
ever.
my first managerial performance, yeah.
That was the worst
Just
day
the
ever.
outside stuff.
they've absolutely stitched them up, making that be the game that gets mic'd up still banana.
Can't never believe I put that in.
But nah, I think it's, I don't know, like, I've had it as well where, I don't know what your thoughts on this, but like, see a lot of times where, I'm not saying it does work up, doesn't it, but see managers that they always take part in training and all that as well. That's another thing I'm no big on.
Aye.
It depends, obviously there's wee aspects of it, but I've had a manager who wants to like do every session. And I'm like, see me, you act like a player, you get treated like a player. So you end up just like talking to them like a player, shouting back. It doesn't work.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Aye.
I don't think it would be bad as a player. Well, obviously you didn't like it as a player, but like when Si played, didn't he? Like, it probably worked. I think we done well barely Glenn office game when he did play. Do you know what I mean?
I think it
wasn't
helped
as
you
if
because of Simon's experience at that time in the season.
Aye.
You needed that extra bit of something to help you.
It was unreal training, say,
And it was different because he's still decent age and he's fit.
Aye.
Like, he's still really fit.
He
So
is.
he still looks after himself, but see if you're a manager who's
Remember the injured Chris? New Balance, 250.
Didn't he come back? Didn't he?
We got a trial on side
oh,
training
no,
New
it
Balance
was
on 250. Told me his New Balance was the boy hobbled off and then he came back.
eight trainers or no? Not even
How
studs.
does he do that? How does he
Oh, I
put
don't
with
know.
trainers?
They gave me the game. See they fuck me to marbles it. See the boxes we did and then into the games,
Aye.
the intensities. Mate, see the tackles that go in, but in it.
Aye, yeah, it's
See
weird.
the wee boxes at the start.
Aye.
Sometimes I'm like, there's a bit of
Actually,
fight
he
here,
played
but
in the bounce game. That was
somebody
it.
nailed you down. No, was it you? Sorry if I
think it
keep
was
cutting
me.
you off.
It's alright, you've cut everybody off and it's fine.
No, I've not
We'll
played
cut you
last
out, so we will.
2 weeks before that, right? Somebody nearly nailed you in the box, but it happens all the
It
time.
does happen,
You get quite annoyed with that, didn't you? Seen you sort of
See,
throw your
boys,
toys at
guys
the
always
camera
stand your
every time,
toes all the time. He's so
Aye, he doesn't
clumsy.
realise
People get
that,
annoyed
you
at
know.
me though. I always
You
end up
do.
standing on Jamie Semple's toes or taking his boot off and all that. He always goes mental with me.
Aye, they boxes, and then the game, but then the games are good, Robbie, because of there's an old team, old, middle, young.
Aye.
The old team consists
Yeah,
of
the old
obviously
team's
Brothers,
fine.
the Gaffer, I was going to say the Gaffer there,
Aye, characters.
Gaffer, Dale. The old ones usually win, didn't they? Is that
Aye.
right?
Mate, that all,
No recently.
No,
though.
recently.
Nah, the young boys have
Young boys used to get scudded all the time and it was starting to get to me, but now I'm starting to...
Yeah, we've picked up.
I mean, that shows how important that personality is in football, but because they all have that, like the older guys all personality, all voices, and it does definitely.
Aye.
But see what you're saying about tackles, City encourages it. Do you know what I mean? Because see if like we don't hit people in training, he goes.
Aye,
he goes
exactly,
mental, do you know what I mean?
Aye, so because I go up and whisper, be careful. So he doesn't hear me saying it. Don't hurt for
And
Saturday.
the bounce game, I was out in fair play and he was fucking brilliant, man.
Any other stories for the season that we want to cover? That we've not covered any of the boys you feel you got maybe mugged or any...
I called him out now, he's been shite.
No, I think Conroy might have already told us. Story.
He's a hero.
See about aye.
Best guy
Yes.
in Liverpool, he was in.
Aye. Conroy,
Oh, shit,
did we talk about him in Liverpool? His performance?
No, that was
the
it before
be-
it. Let's
he was
right,
better
okay.
than
Liverpool, Christmas
Right.
Day on, you go take it away, just everything from start to finish.
Right, so on start to finish. So first of all, Semple's organised a minibus driver,
amazing.
Smokey. The guy's name was Smokey. Right. So it was 12 o'clock meet at Broadwood. Right. It gets to 12:15. Still no sign of Smokey. Semple's phoning him. He's phoning him. And he's no answering. Gets to 1:45, still no sign. We're like, we're going to get trained into Liverpool. He eventually answers the phone. He's going, mate, I've just been pulled to the post. I've been on my phone. I'll be 15 minutes. So he turns. Aye. So he turns up an hour late. So that was the start of this trip. Then I can't.
He went to Hamilton Stadium and no, he went to...
Aye.
Because he thought like...
Aye, that was it.
Shemps told him Clyde Stadium. And obviously Clyde were at
they're
Broadwood
playing
this year. He's went to Aki Stadium.
Yeah, that's fair. Google where they play.
We went on and it was like a van.
Oh, it was
like
amazing.
a van with
What, was
seats
he a
in it.
coach?
It was
No,
it wasn't a bus.
stinking
It was like a sinking a cheese, man.
Cheese, mate.
Hopefully Smokey's not watching this.
Aye, fucking be honest.
Oh, there was
His missus was on the bus at all the full time.
how many years ago was that?
Aye,
His missus was in the passenger seat, so they two just drove down.
Why do I late, wasn't it?
Right, and the bus was humming and all. So God knows what they were doing on that bus.
Man. Oh, Smokey, yeah.
Aye, and then there was 14 years, right? And it was a 15-seater, but Semple had booked it when RT and Basel were meant to be gone. So see if RT and Basel came, there wouldn't have been enough seats on the minibus. So that was
best
that.
journey ever.
Saturday, nothing really funny happened, and then the Sunday was
that his fancy dress?
Fancy dress, aye. So Kyle Semple and Cookie never dressed up, like never had a team, so we done like a team for the World Cup. They never had a team, so we dressed them up in the charity shop. So they were dressed up as women and
What
all
was
that.
Conway?
And then Conway had a Morocco. It was Morocco. So he had a Morocco vest on.
Football boots on, but his football boots he played on a Saturday.
Aye, just to get, he still wears them. And in the pub, we were like him going to do doggies, and he was doing doggies back and forth. He was going, always on the move, always on the move. He was running from one end of the pub to the other. And see after it, see the flare in the pub, it was all scratched with studs. Stud marks, all the flare.
I heard Div was a hero, I know.
Amazing,
just kept falling asleep?
He just fell asleep in the toilet. We thought he went home, because like Brock was like texting him saying, "You're embarrassing and all that, how are you going home?" And then he just like appeared, just like stood next to us and just like, just grabbed his drink again and just started drinking it again.
It was a World Cup
just
final.
fell asleep.
We were all watching the game, so he left like half an hour into the game, and then obviously it went to extra time, penalties and whatever, and then he just reappears after the game. We're like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "Fell asleep in the toilet." Fell asleep in the toilet, man.
You know, you gave Robbie a song, didn't you? On the Sundays, all sang for Robbie. Robbie Halliday. You liked that, didn't you?
Or was it for the same tune as Andy Halliday?
Aye,
Original, you like him better though, didn't you? Any other, actually, Robbie, did you go a Christmas Day this year? Were you watching?
The morning of the eye. It's a club podcast.
Any stories?
Oh, nah, mate.
No,
He's old enough to hear Christmas night out.
They did, aye, but there's no way I was going. Aye, they went, I think they went to fucking Nico's or something like that. They went to Nico's and then they left it.
Who's the characters in the 20s?
Mate, a lot of them. They're all brilliant.
Oh, you Idols,
A few
aren't you?
Dafty. No,
No, good way, but...
boys, good boys. Don't talk about that, mate.
No idea.
Matty was successful on the Christmas night as well. He was the only one that was successful.
Aye, I was. Aye.
Oh, yeah?
Aye.
Sunday, Saturday, Sunday.
Fell in love.
Oh, no.
Sunday night, we were getting the train up the road, and we're walking to the train station, and we all walked in, and Matty's standing there with a bird waiting for a taxi.
Oh,
Hopefully that makes a cut.
do you still keep in contact with him?
No contact.
Right, boys, we're going to go into teammates. Who is the biggest character in the dressing room?
I mean, Brock talks the most, obviously, all the time. Gaz is funny as fuck,
Aye, he's
amazing.
funny.
And then Con just...
Has one line
Con's
that's
got
so
like
dry, isn't he?
power,
Con's funny.
Aye, he's the most natural funny, isn't he?
Yeah,
Con's got, like, dry.
he's not the loudest in it,
No.
so it's not as if he's like,
He just
in your
hits it
face,
with
innit?
wee jokes out of the blue, like, just out of nowhere, and it's so good.
Who's your favourite staff member? That's the next one.
yeah. Least favourite, is that in there?
No, like favourite, just your
Just the
favourite. Don't
favourite.
be cheeky, then please. Fuck the fans in there.
No, you, I said was the favourite.
Oh, aye. Matty, me as well.
Aye.
Good. Right, is Brock still the dressing room DJ?
Aye.
Tunes are decent, actually. The tunes are decent.
He goes on for the first half, and then Brothers goes on.
Brother, does he?
Aye.
What's he?
Brothers
He
play.
likes that mix,
Aye, it's good.
Aye.
Oh, this is good.
What we
to be
got?
fair.
Kenny Rogers.
Aye, he's alright, to be fair.
Aye, there.
It's no said here who's the funniest in the dressing room, but we just covered that, didn't we?
Aye, Conroy.
Conroy, aye.
Who's the funniest in Airdrie?
Oh, they covered that as
Just
well.
in the city centre. Feel like Airdrie.
Who's the funniest? Dylan Easton was funny. Aye, he was funny.
Worst patter in the dressing room. Hate that word patter, do you?
What would you score?
Banter.
Well, I know it's the worst gear. I've already answered that last
Aye,
time.
that's a fucking no-brainer, isn't it? Barzo. Worst burgundy sliders.
See how I
Nah.
see,
Burgundy sliders.
I said on the last podcast about the burgundy sliders, right? So you got no sliders. Do you know what they are? See, the goalie glove cells. He's got cells sliders. So it's like, so
I love that
cells
for
is a goalie, mate, a goalie glove
I
brand,
love it for him.
and it's like goalie gloves match his sliders.
That's class.
Cells.
You play with them?
Worst gear, we'll take bars aside because we have... this is
No,
Nah,
I don't mind sliders.
not right, innit?
No,
It's casual, mate.
it's decent.
You did.
I catch that.
End in it.
Fucking dog is somewhere, innit?
End.
I said to it. Fucking get it somewhere, I know. And I'm trying to think of worst gear in the...
I don't know, man.
Dale.
Oh my! What about that
Damn.
neck top we wear sometimes? It's like a dress, isn't it, mate?
I was going Dale.
When's the wee man coming back on anyway?
Oh, me calling me that. It's the best
That's
thing
good,
ever, mate.
Favourite game you've ever been involved in?
Oh,
That Motherwell game for Airdrie.
What's it, mate?
100% aye.
you go man of the match for
Aye.
Airdrie.
You've got to say that.
I know
Aye,
exactly.
Is that not a bit of a local derby as well?
Aye, it was a big one.
Favourite Aidan, what about you?
Probably a Bucky game.
What's it?
Aye.
That was insane.
That was class.
My stepdad and was nearly fighting on the other side of the pitch. Nice. I don't know if I told that in the last.
No,
the
they
last
weren't on, no.
Aye, so it was obviously there wasn't many what parents up there, but my mum and my stepdad and my dad whatever went up and watched, and there was a Bucky fan like steaming beside my granda, and he kept like barging into him, and my mum was like, like mate, can you watch my dad's there, and he keep up into him. He was like, shut up, you cow. Oh. Did that make it an on? No?
I don't know.
Don't know what language
no, cow's on it.
Obviously, my stepdad lost the plot and was like, he teed with the guy, and I had to get split up.
Shit, so your stepdad, didn't he?
I had to get split up. He was standing beside my granda. I'm behind my granda.
Worst, I'll go a wee bit more sort of depressing. Sometimes you need to write it back down.
Right.
Worst moment in football?
Getting released from
Probably aye.
I forget that. Scariest team talk you've ever been involved in for a manager, or even it might be a player, because sometimes players step in.
Aye, there was a game at Airdrie, and it was the first game against Montrose, I think, the playoff, or it was like the end of the season game against Montrose, and we had a penalty to win the game, and Dylan Easton hit it, and he dinked it down the middle, and it just went out of the bar, and after the game, Big Dicey, big captain, went in and he put his foot right through the bin, and we were trying not to laugh because he was like raging, like trying to fight him, but his foot was stuck in the bin, and he was like walking about with his foot in the bin, and I was still trying to like grab him, and we like, I didn't play, and I was like in the corner like trying not to laugh because I was like, what if he sees me laughing here and just starts going for me?
That's the worst, isn't it?
And then he was like, Dylan was shouting back like, I tried to hit the roof of the net. When he's like totally and then they were just going at it really fighting, but that was quite good to see.
Aiden?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to hint. I've not really had that many, but what stuff like that happened, to be honest.
Robbie, what about you? This season, have you felt yourself lose it at half time or anything quite bad, or not bad? That happens in football, but
you obviously kind of lose your temper a wee bit in that, but it's never to an extent where I feel lost control of that, but it's necessity sometimes, isn't it?
Any game you've played in?
That
must be brilliant doing.
There's a few, aye.
Do you go mental with 20s? Do you go mental sometimes?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
He's got it in him.
He's like to see it.
I'd like to see it.
We've seen Friday, both he's playing 20s.
You've obviously got annoy, you got anger in that, but
Is Andy more angry? Are you more nice?
I'd probably say he's a good cop.
Would you?
Probably, aye. Maybe different in a different sort of environment. See if it was like a men's team or something, maybe different.
You are their gaffer though, innit? So.
Aye, so I'd say I'm probably a bad cop. But in terms of playing bad ones, I think I said before about the time I was at Dorayo manager, he was mental, man. Gav Friels. See, to be fair, good guy, but he's not. That's the one where they came in after the game, like, I think we're up your young team, started the season really well, and that's the one where I was like, already committed, like, no necessarily committed, but all of Gav's mates, he was local in the area, so everybody like put money in us to win the league and that, because I think the year before, they were like second bottom. It was a full new team of young boys, and we were pretty good, started like great, so everyone's batting money on us. Won the first couple of games, then we like lost to, we went away to fucking Lugar, like November, shite to pitch, and that's here a young team, you're like, this is murder. We ended up getting beat 3-2 and he came out 3 games, like, I'm going to get a fucking shot because of you. It was gone mental, man. So I don't.
Could
anyway.
Ian Murray lose it?
Aye, he was scary.
Was he?
Aye, he was.
What,
the loads of
quite a lot?
times he would just like smash water bottles off the flare and just kick things and all that. Aye.
Was he?
Scary, aye, he was.
Was MD ever setting back to him, Dan Easton? Did you ever see him going for it with somebody?
Nah, not really.
No, really, just,
it was quite a good season for us. There wasn't a lot of games.
He could do that.
He kind of went off his nut. Nah, but when he did go, mate.
Favourite resident, generally last one. Electric chair. Beep, 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 comes in. Last ever nail.
I know my starter, like 100%, the Hilamy Fernando's.
Oh my
Which
God.
amazing. Every time he gets
like that,
better,
mate,
every time, yeah.
What do you mean?
So good.
Right,
I
who's
can't
your
get my
starter?
name though.
Gambaroni.
What's that?
Gambaroni. Is it Gambaroni or
shout.
Gambaroni? I think that's what it is.
Bronze.
Celinos. Oh,
Bronze.
beautiful.
That's
And
it.
Bronze,
Right, mate.
Celinos.
Can I think, I mean.
Aye, you can. Cheers, getting well done.
Cheers.
I mean, bro.
Can I think, I mean. It's a starter.
Never had a dinner before
It's a
that.
starter.
What's your father asked?
Aidan, come on, you know you've got
I
a
like
bit
colours of things, I like
Gambarini.
Pick one. Gambaroni? It's not Gambaroni.
Gambaroni.
What is it?
What's your main? Come on, mate.
I
The belt's getting
Mate,
fancy.
Gammon and Peroni together.
That's only you got. That's a bit of
No, it's no.
They're salting the sponge now, come on.
Come on. Drip on your nut. Hitting your head, man.
I genuinely don't
I
know.
think I feel good at the restaurant I've been to.
Bolognese, chicken curry.
No,
No, I've seen no, what keep it going.
Good.
Can you just say something, please? Just say chicken Maryland, whatever.
Turkey dinosaurs and shit.
Right, dessert then, last one.
Caramel apple pie, West Cake.
Hey man, that's bogging.
Apple pie.
It's class.
I'd go after a cheesecake or a chocolate fudge cake, could decide.
And then last of all, seriously, favourite position? No!
The striker.
On the pitch, fancy football showing it.
Shut up, die.
See it mid?
Say I'm in as well.
And then when the door shuts at night. Rubbish, right boys, superb, the quick man,
Well done, guys.